Yeah, it's kind of like all of the worst parts of high school, but you're fluffy and sweaty at the same time. Okay, so imagine if instead of getting together in a big macho ball of testosterone with the guys and just basically drinking and talking about fictional sexual exploits, you instead had deep, meaningful conversations that actually helped to heal and soothe the trauma that you deal with deep down but can't express. Also, one of them's wearing a pup hood and the other one is probably in a soiled diaper. Honestly, normal dildos are really fucking boring. I want the kind of insertable that can really cause internal damage, you know? Remember you spent 6k on that truck of yours? Right, yeah, well, imagine if you still spent the 6k, but instead you are actually the big truck that the big, buff, macho, muscular guy wants to, you know, climb inside of and go for a ride. Well, a lot of people like to make jokes because they say, like, you know, oh, you only like wearing a fursuit because you're actually really ugly underneath it. And I mean, honestly, I gotta hand it to them. They fucking hit the nail on the head with that one. I mean, have you even seen my hairline? Holy fuck. I used to really enjoy calling people out for the smallest offense. You know, like really degrade them for simple mistakes and basically just get the attention from it. But then all of my actual friends grew up and moved on, and I thought I'd come here, but that sort of thing is fucking immortal. It's kind of the end result of what happens when you watch too much Disney as a kid. Yeah, I was actually just looking to be a part of a dogging group, but I misread the details of the meet and just kind of stuck with it. They just have a really good dental plan. Or it was something to do with oral, I can't remember. Honestly, this is just how I stay warm when heating costs too much. Well, it's just a social group for people who have decided that being quote-unquote normal is just mind-numbingly depressing. You ever wanted to fuck a plushie without it being weird? I mean, it's still a bit weird, but, wait, I forgot what point I was trying to make. Be honest with you, it's a tax dodge. I mean, you can't ask a dog to pay taxes. Now, you don't have to have a fursuit to be a furry. I mean, you can just crawl around on all fours in the street and bark at strangers if you want, but this seems to be more comfortable. The only other option in this goddamn country is to be a football fan, and honestly, if I'm gonna get hyped up for some guy in the way that he uses his feet to handle balls, this is how it's gonna fucking be, okay? But you know those chemicals they were putting in the water? Well, let me put it this way, it wasn't the freaking frogs that were turning gay. When it comes to getting hot and sweaty in a hobby, I prefer to do this than go to the gym because, honestly, this is just less awkward than going down there and struggling to lift half a kilo. Now, they banned a shitload of books in my school growing up, but they didn't ban Animorphs, so I guess this was inevitable. You ever get like a funny feeling when, you know, Tony the Tiger comes on TV, looks you dead in the eye and goes, "They're great"? Yeah, this is what happens if you follow that path to its logical conclusion. Honestly, I saw how much fun my dog was having when I took him out for a walk and thought, yeah, maybe I should try being on the end of a leash and shitting on the floor. Oh, no, I'm not actually technically a furry. I suppose you'd call me a fleshy, because, I mean, this is actually who I am, this is me, and I just put on a fucking fake smile and a fake personality, a flesh suit, to go out into the world and earn some fucking wages. Well, I mean, at first I thought I was getting catfish, but then it was fine because there was nothing to do with fish. It was actually an immortal 8-foot tall dragon with 2 dicks. And I mean, that's nothing like a fish. It's kind of like having a drinking problem, but only in the sense of, you know, like you socialize with other people with the same, you know, drinking problem and you tend to enable each other, but I suppose instead of dealing with hangovers, you just have an increased likelihood of heat stroke and rectal bleeding. I know it's a lot of money, but let's be honest, I would probably spend more if I went down the pub several nights a week, and I'm still getting the typical pub experience, only this time there's a higher chance that I might enjoy being degraded by a bunch of masculine men. Honestly, this was just an excuse to be something other than human, because damn, that species is fucked. Basically, I don't really like the idea of having kids, and this is honestly the most effective form of birth control I could fucking find.